Hey everyone, this is my second video for this month's My Favorite Things Creative Challenge, which was to use their new hybrid inks in creative ways. So if you missed my first video, make sure to check that out as well, where I did watercoloring over the hybrid inks. And for this card, I thought I would do Copic markers over hybrid inks. I've already done reviews on these inks and shown how I use them with Copic markers, usually the black licorice hybrid and then coloring in the image. This time I thought I would stamp the images in color and then color over them with the Copics. So I'm using the Lisa Johnson Forget Me Not stamp set, and I inked up the stem and leaves with spearmint ink and stamped them, and then the flowers I inked up with grapesicle ink. I just chose two lighter inks because I wanted to completely color over them. Now you could do this one of two ways. You could take some extra time and leave, these little white lines that give it that extra bit of detail. So you could color around that and leave it. Actually, you could do it three ways, really. You could color around it and leave it. You could do as I'm doing and completely color over it. Or you could completely color over it and then add back in the white lines. Like there is a product that Copic has that's that white, detail white. I forget even the actual name of it because I don't have it. But if you wanted to go that extra effort, you could kind of paint back in the white. But I decided to just color over everything. It just kind of gives it a painted look almost. So with the greens, I just used G02 and G07, just lighter and then darker, and then blended it out again. And then for the actual flowers, I'm using V22 and 25. And just adding the lighter first, adding a little bit of the darker, and then just kind of blending it again with the lighter. Really, really easy. And it just gives it a completely different look than just stamping the images in color. And the nice thing about the hybrid inks is they don't bleed with Copic markers, they don't smear, smudge, anything like that. So you can see I can color over them quite well, and I can even blend over them, and you don't have the ink like oozing out anywhere or smearing. So really fun, some of the techniques you can do with these. So once I was done coloring in the stems and leaves and flowers, I added the centers, which there's two little stamps in this set, and I inked those up with just Craft Hybrid ink, stamped that, and then I used E11, E13, and then E15 to add a little bit more depth to it. And then I decided I wanted a little bit more going on in the background, but I didn't want it to kind of take center stage. So what I ended up doing was taking the big romantic script background stamp and I inked it up with the Snow Cone Hybrid ink. And this is where the nice thing came in with the Copic markers, because they've kind of bled into the cardstock, as I could see where it was. So I only applied pressure around all the flowers. I didn't mind if some of the stamp got over it, and I wasn't using very heavy pressure, so you can barely see the stamped background, but it just gives that little extra something. So once I was done that, I stamped the sentiment, and then I decided I want to add some shimmer. So I turned on my overhead lights because that helps pick up the shimmer a lot more, especially on camera, because it's always so hard to show the Wink of Stella. But I took my clear Wink of Stella and I just painted over all of the stamped images here. And it just adds that extra something. And again, a bonus with using hybrid inks and Copics is they're not water soluble, so none of the color got picked up or moved around with the Wink of Stella. And then once I was done all that, I decided I wanted to go even further and add a little bit of splatter. So I mushed some grapesicle and grape jelly. This is the dye ink, like MFT's premium dye ink, just onto an acrylic block, and then got a really wet paintbrush, mushed the colors together and loaded up the brush, and then flicked it right against the stamped images there. So I got this cute little splatter going on. And then I took a piece of spearmint cardstock and I just inked up the text background stamp that's in that same Forget Me Not set. And I inked it up with the same spearmint hybrid ink and stamped it onto that. And then I added a little strip of black cardstock just for that little bit of definition. And once I adhere everything together, this is going to be another 4-bar sized card because I'm kind of obsessed with them. I mentioned that in the previous video. I don't know, it's the different size just kind of makes everything look different. I don't know, it's just something different. I'm getting kind of tired of the A2 card size that I've been making for years. So I adhered the spearmint strip of cardstock directly to the card base. So yeah, 4-bar card size is 3.5 by 4 7/8 inches. And then the main image, I adhered the black strip of cardstock to that and then popped that up on foam tape just for a little extra something. And then as I was looking at this image, it just needed something a little bit more. So I just grabbed my brown Wink of Stella and scribbled that onto the flower center, and it just made it all pop. I was really happy with it. Plus, of course, because of that extra shimmer. So I didn't realize, I wasn't looking at my camera when I finished off the card, that I was zoomed in way too close for the rest of the card. But I just grabbed my little shipping box again, opened up the card, and used more of the dye inks with the paintbrush to kind of splatter along the inside. And then I just cut down another strip of spearmint cardstock that I stamped with that same text stamp from the stamp set. I'm just going to adhere that on the bottom of the card, and that finishes it off. So as always, there will be a link below to my blog post with links to all the supplies used. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping my videos. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.